There's a false narrative with a lot of us when we hit a bad shot that we lift it up. When in fact we saw with the wedges, man, they lifted up a ton, right? Like the head literally going through the screen. Now, when they come through, that head lifting up is from the hips being forward. It's from the shirt buttons pointed up towards the sky. I mean, your head when you're done with a wedge should be up several inches compared to where you started with. And the key point to that is it helps shallow out the club head. It helps get that club working into the ball with a nice shallow approach. Hey guys, Eric here outside at the Bethlehem Golf Club. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to hit your wedges like the pros. Now, before we dive into that, two quick things. If you are interested in in-person lessons with me here in Bethlehem, PA, I would love to have you. We'll put a link down the description down below for in-person lessons. If you can't make it out to Bethlehem, PA, would still love to work with you through CogornoGolf.com. That's where you can send me your swing. I'll analyze it for you. Myself and our coaches will put a plan together for you to improve. Regardless of what skill level you're at, would love to work with you, help take your game to the next level. Now, today's video, hit your wedges like the pros. You know, I happened to be watching YouTube a couple days ago, a little while ago, and I saw TaylorMade put a video out with a couple of their pros hitting wedges. I think it was Matthew Wolf, John Rahm, DJ, and Colin Morikawa. And they're hitting wedges. I was just watching along. It's a really cool behind the scenes look at what they do, what they think. And they're talking to guys who are a couple of club fitters from TaylorMade. Super cool. We'll link that down in the description if you want to watch the full video. But as I'm watching it, and I'm always watching these videos, like, what are these guys doing? What are the commonalities amongst all of them that I can help share to improve everyone's game? And really, when I was watching the technique, and you'll see the video in a minute and we'll go over it, I saw three key things they do with their wedges that I think can really help you to start out with. So those three keys that I saw them do all have to do with their body motions, and they all have to do with the follow through. And I want you to go watch that video. We'll look in a minute. And I want you to watch players and key in on these three things. What were they? Number one, all of them in their follow through had their knees very close together. So from the down the line view, or from the side view, you'll see my knees are very close together. All of them had their hips pushed forwards towards the target, and all of them had their shirt buttons up towards the sky. So these wedge zones, you know, we're talking 30 up to about 100 yards, knees close together, hips forward, shirt buttons up towards the sky. Let me go ahead and hit one and demonstrate. Knees together, hips forward, chest up. That's about what we'll see. Now let's go ahead and hop over and analyze, or you'll see for yourself. So here we have Colin and DJ at the range that I bookmarked here so we can see. And this is a cool shot because we can see both of them hitting wedges. You can see all four of the TaylorMade guys there, Matt Wolf, DJ, Colin, and John Rahm at the end. And a cool sort of side angle to see what they all do with their wedges and hear some conversation. And here we can see Matthew Wolf demonstrating the three principles: the knees close, hips are forward towards the target, chest is up in the air. We can see here, I'll pull it back a minute so we can see DJ and Colin more closer up. Here's Colin hitting. There we can see the same principles as he gets into his finished position there. Knees very close together, hips forward towards the target, chest is up in the air. And then we should have DJ here next, displaying the same principles into the follow-through very nicely. Knees are close, hips forward towards the target, chest up in the air. So there you saw all three of them. You know, they didn't show a lot of Matthew Wolf in there for whatever reason, but you saw the other guys and the view that you saw. And how I would start with this when you're hitting wedges is just start from the ground and work your way up. Like, hit some wedges, and again, maybe, you know, 30, 40, 50. I'd say this is true up to full pitching wedge. And make sure when you're hitting these, I'll just hit a 50-yarder, that your knees, when you get done, are very close together. Here would be my knees far apart, right? Trail foot back, weight on my back foot. My knees being close together, all my weight's forward, my trail side and knee have turned. My kneecap is pointing more towards the target. So knees close, all my weight gets on my left foot, my kneecap points towards the target. The second piece to key in on here is the hips forward, right? So when I make a swing and I hit here, my hips don't stay back, chest down. My hips push forward and up. So my belt buckle points up and forward towards my target, even on these little pitch shots. So belt buckle forward, same sort of thing. Weight fully forward, hips forward. And the last piece is the shirt up. So this is just shirt buttons point up towards the sky, not down towards the ground. I'll go ahead and do one with that. So shirt buttons up. And all three of those, you can see them all do. Now, those are all cues you see there. There's a couple more things that are important. Let's hop back, talk a little more about it. A few other variables or principles you will see amongst good or great wedge players, especially the tour players. Three things here to consider. I'm going to let this play through normal speed, and then we'll take a look here. So you'll hear some talking amongst them as we go.
Shapes, Colin. Well, I've been trying to look at draws with my wedges. I can't do it from this close though.
DJ.
Like, because of the way I swing, man. I used to spin it a lot, and I've been working on like hip.
Now notice, I'm going to play that back one more time. Notice the tempo of all of these players, and what we say with our tempo training with the wedge is one constant pace. They don't look like they're adding a ton of acceleration nor deceleration, like it's going back and through at the same pace. Very smooth and neutral.
I can't do it from very
smooth and neutral.
Because of the way I swing, man. I used to spin it a lot, and I've been working on like hitting.
Very smooth and neutral. Now, I'd recommend going to watch the whole video. You can hear a lot of cool, it's nice to get the behind the scenes, but obviously the smooth tempo. Notice also, and it'll go Colin, DJ, and Ram. All three of them, feet very close together, ankles very close together when they hit. And also see, because of the body pieces we talked earlier, how they allow themselves to come up through the impact zone. Now, if we look at him at setup and at impact, certainly he hasn't gone way up by the time he's at impact. He's kept his height. But from impact to the follow-through, you want to allow your head, chest, neck, and all that to work up. Look how much up he goes. DJ, you'll see him, again, feet very close together over here. And watch how much his head will go up to the point where he actually gets off the screen. So he stays down through impact, but he's turning, extending, head up top through the screen in the follow through. Let's watch Ram do the same thing on the end here. Again, notice the feet very close together. I see feet very wide all the time. And watch his head. So he keeps this level through the hit, but then from there, he works up into the follow through. Okay, so there you saw a couple other pieces, really two sets of three things, right? We have a bunch of wedge videos and master classes. We could talk all day about this stuff, but to keep it pretty simple, some of the other cues to keep in mind here. The feet being very close together. I would get them as close together as you can. There's no need for width here. A little bit more than a club head apart when you're talking 30, 40, 50, gradually get farther. And really notice the tempo. This is such a big one I see with players I work with. The tempo idea in your mind is to have the club work back and through the same speed. So I don't go back and add a lot of acceleration. I don't go back real fast and go slow. I'm looking for the club head to feel as though it's moving at the same pace. And you saw all three of them that I played in there at real speed. And I think you would agree with me that club head moves back and through very much at a constant tempo there. Same speed back and through. Now, if you watch any of our videos, you know that I like one speed all the way through up to full swing. We won't go into that today, but I like a hand system, right, for distances. I like to see one speed, one club, and then you just gradually change swing length and match them on both sides. You can watch some of our other wedge videos for those. But you saw on that second clip, feet close together. We talked about the follow-through pieces there, and you saw again with the line on the head. Now what they're doing, some variations, but let's just say they basically stay on it going back. Some go down a little. They stay down pretty good through impact, but they definitely don't stay down into the follow-through. There's a false narrative with a lot of us when we hit a bad shot that we lift it up. When in fact we saw with the wedges, man, they lifted up a ton, right? Like the head literally going through the screen. Now when they come through, that head lifting up is from the hips being forward. It's from the shirt buttons pointed up towards the sky. I mean, your head when you're done with a wedge should be up several inches compared to where you started with. And the key point to that is it helps shallow out the club head. It helps get that club working into the ball with a nice shallow approach. So these are some pieces to keep in mind. What I would do is just check mark them. So hit some wedge shots and just check and see. Are my knees close together, yes or no? Are my hips forward? Is my chest up? If I can link those three pieces, I'm off to a good start in terms of solid contact. Now, if you struggle with distance control, you want to put a wedge system in, a swing length system that you can build in a couple practice sessions. We'll make sure that we put a card there at the end of the screen here at the end of the video for that one. Make sure you do that and put a system in. If you're looking at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and playing by feel and not hitting the ball close enough to the hole, we got to put a system in. We'll link that video at the end. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video and want to support the channel, please click that like button down below. Leave a comment with what you saw or what you liked and click the subscribe button. All that really helps our channel out. If you did like this wedge video and you want to learn how to put that system in place that I mentioned, which I really highly recommend, we'll put that card on the screen. We'll also put a card for Cogorno Golf. If you want to work with me, I would love to work with you there.